Hi everyone, so welcome back to the channel. So in this video I am going to discuss the chapter trigonometry of 10th class AP state, Telangana state, and is also useful for CBSE boards. Right, so in this chapter we are going to discuss the introduction of trigonometry and what are all the contents that are present in our 10th class state textbook. Right, so it is useful for the SSC examinations and as well as the next upcoming competitive examinations, right? Since it is the basic, so we need to learn it carefully, right? So if you are new to this channel, so please subscribe the channel and share with your friends. So don't forget to press the bell icon so that you may get the instant notifications of my latest videos, right? So getting into the chapter, right? So in this particular chapter, so we are going to have, these are the contents of this particular chapter. Right, so first of all we are going to have the introduction of trigonometry. So what is trigonometry, and after that we are going to consider a right angle triangle and we are going to name the sides of the right angle triangle based on the conditions that are given. Next in this, so furtherly if we get into this, so first of all we are going to discuss so what is a trigonometric ratio and what is its definition, and based on that we are going to do the problems related to exercise 11.1, and after that we are moving to exercise number 2, so in which we are going to have the values of trigonometric ratios for certain angles, like these are 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees, and based on those values we are going to have exercise 11.2, and after that we are moving on to the third exercise, so which is based on trigonometric ratios of complementary angles. So you already know what are complementary angles, right? So if sum of two angles is 90 degrees, then we say those angles are complementary angles. So based on that, how my trigonometric ratios are changing, so about that we are going to learn the concept, and based on that we are going to have exercise 11.3, and finally trigonometric identities. So we are going to have three basic trigonometric identities. So using those identities, so we are going to have exercise 11.4. Now if you observe, among this exercise 4 is very important for our SSC examination along with the remaining 3 exercises, right? So this optional exercise is for additional working, right? Let us move into the chapter. So first of all, getting into the introduction. See, first trigonometry is nothing but a word which is derived from Greek. So it is a Greek word, so which is a combination of 3 letters. So trigonometry is splitted into 3 parts. So one is tri, next is gonia, and next one is metron. So these are nothing but the 3 words, so which are having their own meanings, right? So tri means 3. So already we know tri means 3. Gonia means angle, and metron means measure. So if you combine these 3, tri, gonia, metron, so if you combine these 3, so it is collectively called as trigonometry, right? So trigonometry means nothing but 3 angles measure. So we are going to have 3 angle measure. So where can we find 3 angles? So we can find 3 angles in a triangle. So this trigonometry chapter is completely based on a triangle. Now next, so Hipparchus is considered as the father of trigonometry. So he is the father of trigonometry. So because of him, so we got this particular chapter, right? So let us get into the chapter. So how we are going to define the sides. Now first of all, if you consider a triangle ABC, so this is my triangle ABC, so which is green in color. Now here angle CAB, so if I consider this angle as theta, so this angle is theta, then in this right angle triangle, so in this right angle triangle, the side opposite to right angle is nothing but we call it as hypotenuse. So this particular AC is my hypotenuse. So since it is the longest side of the given triangle, we call it as hypotenuse. Next, basing on this particular triangle, so particular angle theta, we are going to have the remaining names of 2 sides, right? So to this angle theta, this particular side BC, so to this angle theta, this particular side BC, we call it as opposite side of angle A, right? So this is nothing but my opposite side. Then automatically, so this particular side will become adjacent side. So basically in this chapter, so while discussing about the trigonometric ratios, we are going to have these particular notations. So the longest side always we call it as hypotenuse, and about this angle A, so whatever the side it is opposite, we call that side as opposite side, and the remaining side, whatever the side that is left over, that we call it as adjacent side. So these three notations we commonly use in trigonometry. So hypotenuse, opposite side, and adjacent side. So here opposite side and adjacent side depends on the angle. So without this angle we cannot say so which one is opposite side and which one is adjacent side. So while changing the angle, so we are going to have the change in opposite and adjacent sides, right? Next, moving on to the trigonometric ratios. Now, so what is a trigonometric ratio? So basically, since in a right angle triangle or generally in a triangle, so we are going to have three sides, right? So we are going to have three sides. So using these three sides, so if you want to write a ratio, so how can you write a ratio? So A by B. So whenever you want to write a ratio, you are going to consider two quantities and you are going to compare them, right? So it is nothing but called as a ratio. For suppose if you are having three things, then how many ratios are possible? So if you are having three quantities, then how many ratios you can write? So you can write totally 6 ratios. So those 6 ratios here we are defined with their particular names, right? So like how we have A by B, so likewise we can write B by A also. Next, if I consider A by C, then the other ratio is C by A. If I consider B by C, then the other ratio is C by B. So totally 6 possibilities are there, right? So there are totally 6 possibilities. So here also, since we are having three sides in a right angle triangle, so based on a particular angle, so we can say there are 6 ratios possible. So those 6 ratios are defined like this, right? So the first one is sine. So first ratio is sine. So sine of angle A. So it is sine of angle A. For suppose if this is angle A, then to this angle A, this particular side BC is nothing but called as opposite side, and AB is called as adjacent side, and this AC is nothing but we call it as hypotenuse. So already in the previous slide we have discussed about that, right? So in a right angle triangle we are going to have, with respect to a particular angle, we are going to have opposite side, adjacent side, and hypotenuse, right? Now first of all we are going to discuss about sine. So sine A, so we are going to read it as sine of angle A. So while writing in short form, we are going to write SIN. So beside that we are going to give that particular angle. So with respect to which angle we are going to discuss about this. So sine of A is nothing but given by, so length of side opposite to angle A by length of hypotenuse. So in short we can remember it as O by H. So opposite side to angle A by hypotenuse. So in short we can remember in that particular way. The same way cos A. So these all are nothing but definitions. So definition means we need to follow it, right? So sin A is nothing but opposite side of A by hypotenuse. The same way cos A. So cos A is nothing but adjacent side by hypotenuse. The same way tan A is given by opposite side to A by adjacent side to A. Next, cosecant of A is nothing but the reciprocal of sin A. So if you reciprocate sin A, then we are going to get cosecant A. Then how can you write this as hypotenuse by opposite side? The same way AC by AB, which is nothing but secant A. So secant A is nothing but reciprocal of cos A. So which I can write as H by A. Similarly cotangent. So secant, next cot is nothing but cotangent. So here cotangent means, so we cannot write this total thing, so that's why we made it short to 3 letters. So cot A. So this cot A is nothing but reciprocal of tan A, which we can simply write it as adjacent by opposite side, right? So these all are nothing but the ratios which we have in trigonometry, right? So in short we can remember these in simple way, like O, A, O, H, H, A. So here on the above, so we are going to write sine, cos, tan, and their corresponding reciprocals we are going to write at the below. So cosecant, secant, and cot. Now if you want to have this sign, then just go from top to bottom. We are going to have opposite by hypotenuse. So O by H. If you want cos, so A by H. Tan means O by A. The same way, if you want to find the values of the below ones, then just go in the reverse. So from bottom to top. So just you can remember OAO HHA. OAO HHA. So if you can frame this table, so you can remember the values of sine, cos, tan, cosecant, secant, and cot. So these are nothing but the trigonometric ratios which we have. So totally we are having 6 trigonometric ratios. So cos and cosecant, so both are different, so don't get confused, right? So these 6 trigonometric ratios and their corresponding definitions, so these you need to remember, right? Next, moving on to, so one more thing. So here I am going to explain that particular table clearly. So first of all, write sin A, next cos A, and then tan A. And the reciprocal of sin A is nothing but cosecant A, and the reciprocal of cos A is secant A, reciprocal of tan A is cot A. So first of all you need to understand these things, and using this I am going to frame out a table, right? So if you can remember this table, then you will never forget those trigonometric ratios, right? Now if you can draw like this simply, then you can have all these things. So sin A, so sin A is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse, opposite side to A by hypotenuse. Cos A is nothing but adjacent side to A by hypotenuse. Next, tan A is nothing but opposite side to A by adjacent side to A. So simply you can read it as O A O H H A, O A O H H A. Now when you want these values, so which are at the top, then simply read it downwards. So read it downwards. Then what I am going to have? So sin A means O by H, cos A means A by H, tan A means O by A. So likewise we can remember. And if you want their reciprocal, simply read it in the reverse order. So cosecant A means H by O, secant A means H by A, cot A means A by O. So likewise you can simply remember by drawing this table. Okay, so this table totally contains the trigonometric ratios and their definitions. And already we have seen that sin A and cosecant A are reciprocal to each other, cos A and secant A are reciprocal to each other, tan A and cot A are reciprocal to each other. That means what we can say here, sin A is equal to 1 by cosecant A. Similarly, cos A is equal to 1 by secant A. Same way, tan A is equal to 1 by cot A. The same way we can write cosecant A is equal to 1 by sin A. Next, secant A is equal to 1 by cos A. Next, cot A is equal to 1 by tan A. Now when you do cross multiplication, you are going to get this. So whenever you multiply a ratio with its reciprocal, then their product value is equal to 1. that means sin A into cosecant A. So whenever you get sin A into cosecant A, its value is equal to 1. The same way cos A into secant A is equal to 1. The same way tan A into cot A is equal to 1. Right? Next, the value of sin A and cos A never exceeds 1. So that means, so sin A and cos A. So if you observe sin A and cos A, so their denominators contain the hypotenuse, right? And already we have discussed that in a triangle hypotenuse is the longest side, right? Since hypotenuse is the longest side, so always the denominator will be greater than numerator. Since denominator is greater than numerator, that means we say it has proper fraction, right? So if denominator is greater than numerator, we call it as proper fraction. So in a proper fraction, always the value is less than 1. So that means sin A and cos A never exceeds 1. So never exceeds 1 means it may be, so there is a possibility that opposite side and hypotenuse may be equal. So in such cases we are going to get 1 and it cannot exceed 1. Next, similarly secant A and cosecant A. So secant A and cosecant A are reciprocals of sin and cos, no? Since sin and cos are always less than or equal to 1, so clearly what we can say, their reciprocals will be always greater than or equal to 1. So that is the point. So what we are going to discuss here, right? Next, moving on to the next conditions. So trigonometric table. So we are going to have the trigonometric values table. So this is related to exercise number 2. So in this particular thing we need to remember these values, right? The first one is, so if you observe 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. So these are the things that we have. So we need to remember these values, and the whatever the values that are present in between these values, so those we are going to learn in our higher classes, right? So first of all we need to remember all these basic 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90 degrees values for all the trigonometric ratios in this thing. So first of all, if you observe the value of sin 0, so value of sin 0 is 0. Next, the value of sin 30 is 1 by 2. So sin 45 is 1 by root 2, sin 60 is root 3 by 2, sin 90 is 1. So if you want, you can simply learn it a simple way. So how can you do is, simply write down from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and after that divide with 4. So divide with 4. So after dividing with 4, so apply square root. So after dividing with 4, simply apply square root. Then what I am going to have, 0 by 4 is 0. So square root of 0 is 0. Next, square root of 1 by 4. So square root of 1 by 4 is, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2. Next, the same way, this 2 in 4, so it goes 2 times. Then what I am having, so square root of 1 by 2. That means square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2 is root 2 only. Next, square root of 3 by 4. So square root of 3 by 4 means square root of 3 by square root of 4 is nothing but 2. The same way, 4 in 4 gets cancelled 1 times. Then I am going to have this 1. I think you have understood, right? So simply first write down 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and after that divide each number with 4 and after that you apply square root. So if you can get this particular line, so if you can remember this particular line, so from 0 to 1, so the values are ranging from 0 to 1. The same values if you write in reverse order. So if you write in reverse order, 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2, 1, then I am going to get the values of cos. That means you can simply understand here that, so whenever you are having the values of sine, if you write them in reverse order, then I am going to have the values of cos, right? Next, tan theta. So here tan theta is nothing but defined as sin theta by cos theta. So tan theta is nothing but sin theta by cos theta. Then to obtain the values of tan theta, simply what we are going to do is we are going to divide this one with this one. So 0 by 1 is 0, 1 by 2 by root 3 by 2 is 1 by root 3, 1 by root 2 by 1 by root 2 is 1, root 3 by 2 by 1 by 2 is root 3, 1 by 0. So division by 0 is not defined, right? So after getting the values of tan theta, if you write them in reverse order, so 0, 1 by root 3, 1 root 3 not defined. So if you write them in reverse order, then we are going to get the values of cot theta. That means if you can remember this particular first line, values of the first line, then automatically we can frame out this table. So if we can remember this table, then it is well and good to solve any problem related to these trigonometric values, right? So if you can obtain the values of tan theta, in writing them in reverse order, we are going to have the values for cot theta. Next, moving on to cosecant theta. So cosecant theta means it is nothing but reciprocal of sin theta, right? Then what I can say, so cosecant theta is equal to 1 by sin theta. So simply what we can do, just reciprocate these values. So reciprocate the first line. So 1 by 0, so it is not defined. So reciprocating 1 by 2, we are going to get 2 by 1, so which is nothing but 2. Reciprocating 1 by root 2, so reciprocating means writing upside down. So I am going to get root 2 here. Root 3 by 2, if you reciprocate, we are going to get 2 by root 3. Reciprocal of 1 is 1 itself. Next, when you obtain this value of cosecant theta, if you write them in reverse order, so if you write them in reverse order, we are going to get the values for secant theta, right? So if you can remember the first line, then you are going to get the second line. After dividing first line with second line, we are going to get the third line, tan theta. So after tan theta, if you write them in reverse order, we are going to get cot theta. To get the values of cosecant theta, so what we can do, just reciprocate. So reciprocating means writing upside down, right? So writing upside down, we are going to get the values of cosecant theta. Then from there, if you write them in reverse order, we are going to get the values for secant theta. So this particular table is very important. So you need to remember only 5 values. So by making use of these 5 values, we can complete this table, right? So number of times practice is needed to remember these values, right? Next, moving on to the concept related to exercise number 3. So that is nothing but trigonometric ratios of complementary angles. So what is meant by complementary angle? So complementary angle means sum of two angles is 90 degrees. So for suppose if I consider angle A and angle B, then I can simply say that if angle A plus angle B is equal to 90 degrees, then I say angle A is complement of angle B and angle B is complement of angle A, right? So if I want angle A, then I can write it as 90 degrees minus B, and if I want angle B, then I can write it as 90 degrees minus A. Now let us see how these trigonometric ratios changes, right? So first of all, I am going to consider a triangle ABC, and this particular angle is X. So if this angle is X, automatically other than 90 degrees, so whatever the third angle that is present, it is nothing but complementary angle of this particular angle X. Now if you observe this, right, so sin of 90 minus X, so sin of 90 minus X means, so for 90 minus X if I consider, so what is opposite side? So AB is my opposite side of 90 minus X, and CB is adjacent side of 90 minus X, and AC is hypotenuse for 90 minus X. Now basing on 90 minus X, so what I can say, so sin of 90 minus X is equal to, what I can say, AB by, so AB by AC, because it is opposite by hypotenuse, right? The same way this particular thing, so for this 90 minus X, this is opposite side and this is adjacent side and this is hypotenuse. So hypotenuse won't change in right angle triangle, so only the places of opposite and adjacent sides changes. Now when I consider this particular angle X, then for this particular angle X, this particular side will become, so this particular side becomes opposite. So for this particular X, this becomes opposite and this become adjacent. So for this particular angle x, so x is represented by green color. So for this green color, so this is opposite side and this is adjacent side. Now for this green, if I observe, what is AB by AC? So with respect to this angle x, what is AB by AC? So here AB is adjacent and AC is hypotenuse. So for this AB by AC, so this I can write it as cos x. So from this, sin of 90 minus x is equal to cos x. Sin of 90 minus x is equal to cos x. Likewise, for the remaining ratios also, we are going to have all these changes. So whenever you are having 90 minus x, then there are some changes. So how these changes occurs means, so we can simply remember using this particular table. So sin changes as cos and cos changes as sin. So this double sided arrow explains that, so whenever you are having sin followed by 90 minus x, then that sin of 90 minus x will be changed as cos x. Now you may have a doubt, so where that 90 has gone? So because of that 90, sin has been changed, right? So these changes occur. So sin changes as cos and cos changes as sin. So whenever you are having this particular 90 minus x, then sin changes as cos and cos changes as sin. The same way, tan changes as cot and cot changes as tan. So tan changes as cot and cot ratio changes as tan ratio. The same way, cosecant will be changed as secant and secant will be changed as cosecant. So if you can remember this particular format, then automatically you can solve any problem related to complementary angles, right? So whenever you are having 90 minus, so this particular 90 will change sin as cos and cos as sin, tan as cot, cot as tan, cosecant as secant and secant as cosecant. So likewise we are going to have the changes, right? Next, moving on to the main point, so the identities of trigonometric ratios. So what is meant by an identity? So identity means nothing but, so its value will be true for all the values. So it is nothing but an equation, so which holds good for any value, right? Since we are going to discuss in trigonometry, hence we call it as trigonometric identities. Whereas in algebra, so we are having algebraic identities. So a plus b whole square means a square plus 2ab plus b square. So that is one of the algebraic identities. So there we are going to have the variables of algebra. So that's why it is called as algebraic identity. And here we are going to discuss in trigonometry, hence these are called as trigonometric identities. So basically we are going to have three trigonometric ratios. So these three trigonometric ratios, again we are going to have, after doing the transpositions, so we are going to have different values, right? So on a whole we are going to have only three trigonometric identities. So based on the formulae, so we are going to write them in different forms, right? So among those, the first one is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So the first identity is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Here theta can be any real number, because sin and cos are defined for any angle, hence any value of theta, for any value of theta, sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So here we can clearly say that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Now when I need only sin square theta, then I can transpose this cos square theta, then I can write as sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos square theta. The same way I can write cos square theta is equal to 1 minus sin square theta. Now this particular square, from this, if I want only sin theta, what I can do, I can transpose this square, then it becomes square root of 1 minus cos square theta. The same way here also we can write cos theta as square root of 1 minus sin square theta, right? So this is nothing but the first identity. So from this first identity we are going to have 5 forms. So we are going to have 5 forms from this first identity, right? So these 5 forms you need to remember. So you need to make use of these 5 forms at different places, so wherever they are required. Next, moving on to the second identity. So the second identity is nothing but secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. So you can simply remember it as theta. So that order, if you remember theta, then you can simply remember it as secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, or as per letters s after t. So first s comes, then t. Here in the middle you are going to have minus, right? So secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. So if you are having tan square theta minus secant square theta, then its value will be minus 1. So if you are having tan square theta minus secant square theta, its value is nothing but minus 1, right? So here, since secant value is not defined for 90 degrees and tan is also not defined for 90 degrees, so that means, so for odd multiple of 90 degrees it is not defined, hence other than odd multiple of 90 degrees for every angle this particular identity is satisfied, right? On transposing these things, so already for the first identity how we have done the transformations, so how we have done the transpositions, the same way in for this particular also if you do transpositions, so like the previous one, so how we got 5 formulae, right? So using this one we got 1 2 3 4, right? The same way for secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1 also we are going to get secant square theta is equal to 1 plus tan square theta. From that secant theta is equal to square root of 1 plus tan square theta. The same way tan square theta is equal to secant square theta minus 1. From this tan theta is equal to square root of secant square theta minus 1. So from that identity we got these 4, like how we got for the previous one, but addition to that we have 3 more forms. Why? Because if you observe secant square theta minus tan square theta, so if you observe secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, in this we are having squares and that too in the middle we are having minus. So this is looking like a square minus b square form, right? So a square minus b square I can write it as a plus b into a minus b. So since I am having a plus b into a minus b form, so I can write secant square theta minus tan square theta as secant theta plus tan theta into secant theta minus tan theta. So it is equal to 1. Now when I want only secant theta plus tan theta, then I can write as 1 by secant theta minus tan theta. The same way secant theta minus tan theta I can write as 1 by secant theta plus tan theta, right? So basing on the requirement, so whichever the formula so that is applicable you can directly apply. Next, so there is one more result. So this is one of the important results, right? So using this result, so this particular result so will be asked for 4 marks in the examinations. So this is the most important result, so which is mostly asked for 4 marks question. But this year, so due to this COVID, since the paper pattern has changed, so there is a possibility for getting this question for 8 marks, right? So for the regular students, so this may be getting for 4 marks, right? So how we are having the second identity, the same way we are going to have the third identity, right? So third identity is cosecant square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. So third identity is cosecant square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1, and already we know cosecant is not defined for 0 degrees, cot is also not defined for 0 degrees. That means, so these particular things are not defined for multiples of 180 degrees, right? So cosecant square theta minus cot square theta is equal to 1. So these are not defined for or multiples of 180 degrees, hence other than 180 degrees, so these identities are applicable. Next, the remaining things, all the things you can clearly understand how we have obtained for the previous identity. So these four values, so these four forms are common for all the three identities, and these particular three identities which we can obtain as before identity, secant square theta minus tan square theta. So secant square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1. Hence these are in the form of a square minus b square, so clearly we can write as a plus b into a minus b, like how we have got for secant square theta minus tan square theta. So here secant theta plus tan theta is equal to p. How we got sin theta is equal to p square minus 1 by p square plus 1. The same way here also, for cosecant theta plus cot theta is equal to k, we are going to get the value of cos theta, so which is nothing but k square minus 1 by k square plus 1. So this is also one of the most important problems, so which we will be getting for 4 marks, but this year for 8 marks, right? So these two questions, so while solving problems in exercise 4, we are going to discuss about this, right? So if you are good at this particular concept, right, so these are the things so which we have in this chapter. If you are good at all these topics, then we can easily solve all the problems related to trigonometry, which are all given in our textbook, right? So these are all important formulas. So once again, so going with the formula, right? So first of all, you can simply remember this particular table to remember the definition of trigonometric ratios. So this particular table is very important, so just remember this, and followed by this particular trigonometric values table. So this is the second table which we need to remember. Next, followed by this particular thing, so sin changes as cos, cos changes as sin, tan changes as cot, cot changes as tan, cosecant as secant, secant as cosecant. So whenever you are having 90 minus theta or 90 minus x form, right? So because of this 90 degrees, so we are going to have the changes, right? So this particular table, so totally 1, 2, 3, and followed by these trigonometric identities. So finally, so we need to remember these 4 things in this chapter. So if you can remember these 4 things in this chapter, then this trigonometry is very easy to understand and to solve the problems, right? So I hope you have understood, right? So please go through the complete video. So if you haven't understand, so please go through the places where you don't understand, right? So please stay connected to the channel. So in the next video, we are going to have the solvation of the problems related to trigonometry, right? So thank you for watching the video.